Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has sent a letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin, briefing the Kremlin on Tehran's ongoing nuclear negotiations with the United States. The letter was hand-delivered in Moscow by Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who met with President Putin and Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov on Thursday. Discussions focused on Iran's nuclear program, last week's US-Iran talks in Oman, regional developments, and growing cooperation between Moscow and Tehran.
هدف از این سفر خب چند تا هدف مختلف هست. این یک سفری بود که از قبل تنظیم شده بود برای ارائه پیام مکتوب به آقای معظم رهبری به رئیس جمهور روسیه و در عین حال خب مصادف شد با تحولات اخیر و مذاکرات غیر مستقیمی که صورت گرفت. ما همیشه در بحث هسته‌ای با دوستان خودمون در روسیه مشورت‌های نزدیک داشتیم از گذشته تا الان و همواره هم با روسیه هم با چین از نزدیک صحبت کردیم، تبادل نظر کردیم، مواضعمون رو سعی کردیم که تنظیم بکنیم و الان هم فرصت مناسبی هست که این کار با مقامات روسیه صورت بگیره. همینطور روابط دو جانبه ما مسائل بسیار متنوعی رو در بر میگیره که ما هر بار هم که همدیگر میبینیم کلی موضوع برای صحبت هست، پیگیری پروژه های اقتصادی، پیگیری بحث های سیاسی که داریم که انشالله انجام خواهد شد و همچنین در خصوص منطقه غرب آسیا و مسائل تحولاتی که داره میگذره، ادامه جنایات اسرائیل و تهدیداتی که در منطقه وجود داره و از این طرف در این منطقه بحث اوکراین، بحث تحولاتی که در این سمت صورت گرفته. به هر حال موضوعات بسیار متنوعی وجود داره که در این سفر مورد بحث و بررسی قرار خواهد گرفت. عرض می‌کنم ما همیشه با روسیه در موضوعات مختلف منطقه بین‌المللی در مشورت بودیم و این بار هم همین صورت خواهد.
The high-level meetings in Moscow come just days before Tehran and Washington are scheduled to resume indirect talks in Rome. These negotiations are part of an ongoing effort to de-escalate tensions following the reactivation of the US maximum pressure campaign under President Donald Trump. Since assuming office in January, Trump has reinstated economic sanctions aimed at halting Iran's crude exports and dismantling its nuclear ambitions. However, Iran continues to enrich uranium, maintaining that the right to do so is non-negotiable.
من تصریح بکنم روم میزبان مذاکرات نیست، محل مذاکرات. میزبان و همچنان عمان هست و لذا ما در محلی که دولت عمان مشخص میکنه حاضر خواهیم شد و کماکان وظیفه میانجیگری، واسطه‌گری و این ارتباط غیر مستقیم رو به هم برقرار کردن به عهده وزیر امور خارجه عمان هست و دولت عمان هست. بله، من روز شنبه به روم خواهم رفت و انشالله دور دوم مذاکرات رو آغاز خواهیم کرد.
Last month, President Trump warned Iran of potential military strikes and secondary tariffs if an agreement is not reached. While the US has not ruled out the use of force, Russia has firmly opposed any such military action. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov described a strike on Iran as illegal and unacceptable, stating that Moscow would continue efforts to mediate a peaceful diplomatic solution. Russia's upper house of parliament ratified a 20-year strategic partnership agreement with Iran. Signed in January by Presidents Putin and Masoud Pezeshkian, the treaty outlines expanded cooperation in security services, military training, joint drills, and warship visits. Iranian Ambassador Kazem Jalali hailed the agreement as a landmark moment in bilateral relations, emphasizing both countries' shared experience with Western sanctions and what he described as unrestrained unilateralism. The agreement also includes a non-aggression clause. Neither party will allow its territory to be used against the other, nor will it support hostile actions by third parties. However, Unlike Russia's recent treaty with North Korea, this pact does not include a mutual defense commitment. The International Atomic Energy Agency has raised concerns about Iran's rapidly accelerating uranium enrichment. Tehran is currently enriching up to 60% purity, just short of the 90% required for weapons-grade material. According to the IAEA, Iran now possesses enough enriched uranium to build at least 6 nuclear weapons. Western nations argue there is no credible civilian justification for these levels of enrichment, despite Iran's continued claims that its nuclear program is solely for peaceful purposes. In a significant policy shift, US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff stated this week that any new deal must require Iran to fully dismantle its uranium enrichment and nuclear weaponization programs. This marks a reversal from earlier statements, where the US had signaled a willingness to accept enrichment levels up to 3.67% for civilian purposes. Witkoff insisted that verification would be central to any agreement, including inspections of missile stockpiles, bomb triggers, and enrichment facilities.